Epictetus was a Greek-Roman philosopher of the Hellenistic period. He managed to overcome huge obstacles in developing from a crippled Roman slave to become one of the most popular and sought-after philosophers of his time. He was one of the most influential teachers of the latter years of the school of Stoicism and considered by some to be the greatest of the Stoics. As many people are considering how they're going to improve their life in the new year, what habits they're going to change, how they're going to make their life better in general, we bring you 10 lessons from Epictetus' discourses that will help you in keeping your New Year's resolutions. Number 1. Keep your resolutions simple. Epictetus says, "Practice yourself for heaven's sake in little things, and then proceed to greater." Epictetus advises us to keep our resolutions simple and realistic. Often, when the new year is ending, many of us find ourselves gathering up our willpower for a brand new set of New Year's resolutions. We aim for an overhaul of our entire lifestyle, and this is simply a recipe for disappointment and guilt. Here's a crazy statistic from a research study. If you focus on only establishing one habit for 30 days, your likelihood of continuing that habit 1 year later is 80%. But if you add a second habit to that 30-day period, your 1 year success rate drops to 35%. Simply adding one more thing means you're probably going to fail at both. Hence, the best approach is to focus clearly on one of your most important goals. The best way to choose your resolution is by asking yourself what will have the greatest impact on your happiness, health, and fulfillment. For example, giving up smoking will obviously improve your health, but it will also give you a sense of pride and will make you happy. The idea here is not to aim too high and ignore reality. Remember, there will always be more opportunities to start on the next phase or concentrate on other things, so set realistic goals. Once you figure out what your resolution is, it's time to build a practical plan of action to help you accomplish that goal. You shouldn't just commit to your goals, but commit to all the little actions that you take along the way in the pursuit of those goals. You can start with forming an effective plan of action that's comprised of a deadline for accomplishing your goal. It must also be built on the foundation of mini milestones that break your goal down into manageable chunks. Mini milestones will ensure that you're working towards your desired outcome in small pieces and time blocks. Number 2. Routine is everything. In the words of Epictetus, if you want to do something, make a habit of it. The Stoics were big on habits and routines. It appears that Marcus Aurelius had a morning ritual which was a sort of preparation for the day. Seneca had a ritual of reflecting on each day's end. The truth is, even after having a solid resolution and a practical plan, 95% of us fail to achieve our goals. We fail because we fail to be consistent. Let's assume that your resolution is to run a marathon and you've trained hard for the first 7 days. On the 8th day, you get that voice in your head telling you, you know what, I've been doing pretty great and I can afford to take a day off. And indeed, you actually take a day off. This first justification means that the next day you'll feel more compelled to do it again, and you'll become more and more lazy, and eventually you quit. Your new resolutions will only shape up if you make them your habit by being consistent. Hal Elrod, in his book The Miracle Morning, tells us that we need to be consistent for the first 30 days to develop this new routine. We need to divide the 30-day time frame into 3 10-day phases. Each of these phases presents a different set of emotional challenges and mental roadblocks to sticking with the new habit. Again, assuming your goal of running a marathon, the first 10 days of running will be both physically painful and mentally challenging. Every single day, you'll fight a constant battle in your head with the voice of mediocrity telling you it's okay to quit. Do what's right, not what's easy. Days 11 to 20 will be slightly less painful. You may not like it, but you won't hate it either. You'll start forming that habit of running every day, and it will no longer be a scary thing. In fact, it'll just feel normal to wake up and run. Days 21 to 30, you'll start enjoying it. You'll no longer battle with negative thoughts, and you'll realize that this new habit of waking up and running has been formed. Follow this 30-day cycle with all of your resolutions, and your chances of giving up on them will really come down. Number 3. Replace bad habits. According to Epictetus, to make anything a habit, do it. To not make it a habit, do not do it. To unmake a habit, do something else in place of it. Bad habits are the habits that interrupt your life and prevent you from accomplishing your goals. They don't only waste your time and energy, but have a negative effect on your health, both mentally and physically. Most of your bad habits are caused by two things: stress and boredom. Everything from smoking to overspending on a shopping spree to drinking every weekend to wasting time on the internet can be a simple response to stress and boredom. According to Epictetus, sickness grows in mind. But it doesn't have to be that way. In this new year, you can teach yourself new and healthy ways to deal with your stress and boredom, which you can then substitute in place of your bad habits. It's important to remember that whatever the habits you have right now, whether good or bad, they're in your life for a reason. In some way, these habits must provide a benefit to you, even if they're bad for you in other ways. When you stay in a relationship that's bad for you, a bad habit like smoking becomes a simple way to cope with stress. Because bad habits provide some type of benefit in your life, it's very difficult to simply eliminate them, which is why you need to replace a bad habit with a new habit that provides a similar benefit. The best way to find a substitute for your bad habit is to have a plan ahead of time for how you respond when you face the stress or boredom that prompts your bad habit. For example, try breathing exercises whenever you have an urge to smoke, or write one sentence for work whenever you feel like procrastinating on social media. The idea is to replace a bad habit with a new habit that provides a similar benefit. If you simply cut out bad habits without replacing them, then you'll have certain needs that will be unmet, and it's going to be hard to stick to a routine for very long. Number 4. Don't share your resolutions with everyone. As we learn from Epictetus, let silence be your goal for the most part, say only what is necessary, and be brief about it. Whenever we pick our resolution, we proudly proclaim to anyone who'd listen. We're in love with sharing our goals, our ideas, our new habits with the world. However, according to recent research, making a public statement of your goals may not be such a good idea. Imagine again that your resolution is to train for a marathon. You're optimistic and genuinely serious about making a go of it, so you tell all of your friends and family so that they can support you. What these studies show is that as soon as we tell someone, we feel an instant sense of relief, as though we'd already accomplished that goal that we'd set out to achieve. This is what is known as social reality. Simply having your goal acknowledged makes it a part of your identity and results in a rush of feel-good reward hormones. Unfortunately, this satisfaction then tricks your brain into thinking that the job's already done, and then you feel less motivated to actually go out and really achieve the goal. It's like it's already happened. As you go and tell your friends about running a marathon, your friends will start to think of you as someone who's run a marathon. In that way, you'll achieve the satisfaction of completing the marathon, and it's less likely that you'll train hard for it. Another good reason not to tell people your goals is that they can then end up judging your actions, which may end up being unhelpful in the long run. Tell someone you want to run a marathon, for instance, and you can find that they end up giving you looks every time you don't train or relax. This can actually remove your determination to stick to a training regime, as nobody likes being controlled, and our natural tendency is to do the opposite of what we feel pressured into doing. If you wish to share your resolutions, then share them with an accountability partner, your mentor, or anyone who's ready to help you with your goal, but not with everyone else. Number 5. Give no excuses. Epictetus says, there were two vices much blacker and more serious than the rest: lack of persistence and lack of self-control. Persist and resist. With every new year, we all gear up and prepare our New Year's resolution list. Unfortunately, with these new resolutions comes new excuses. When you decide on following a new diet or on learning a new skill, it all starts off well with lots of enthusiasm. But along the way, you start making rationalizations that revolve around people or events that are supposedly keeping us from taking action towards our goals. These rationalizations are nothing but excuses, the reasons we create to defend our behavior, to postpone taking action, or simply as a means of neglecting responsibility. Some of the most common excuses are, I just can't find the time to do it, I don't know where to start, or even, it's too expensive, or maybe I'll do it later. These excuses are so common that we don't even realise when we're using them as weapons against our goals. When you make excuses or victimize yourself, you relinquish control and absolve yourself of personal responsibility. And without a sense of ownership, meaningful progress becomes an impossible task. To be persistent, think of your resolution like a rent agreement. Once you sign that contract, you're required to pay an amount of money to your landlord, and if you fail, you're thrown out. There are no excuses here. You're always under constant pressure to honour the agreement, and you work hard for the money. Your New Year's resolution is like a rental agreement that you need to honour without making excuses. Number 6. Don't wait for other people's validation. In the words of Epictetus, never depend on the admiration of others. There's no strength in it. Personal merit cannot be derived from an external source. It is not to be found in your personal associations, nor can it be found in the regard of other people. The whole idea of validation is to get a go-ahead sign from others. The concept of validation is primarily about getting others to tell you that you're on the right path. Unfortunately, not everyone in your life is encouraging. They may either intentionally dissuade you or not understand your goals, and hence dissuade you from following through on them. Often, our resolutions don't fit too well with others simply because they have different perspectives on a similar situation. Let's say, for example, that one of your New Year's resolutions is to work on building your own business. But when you go and discuss it with a friend, they might try and put you off by saying, "Are you sure you'll be able to do it? Why don't you just stick with your job? At least you'll get a fixed income." First, we need to understand why they're discouraging you from starting your own business, to see whether they have any genuine contribution to make, or if they're dissuading you because of their own fear or lack of confidence. If it's lack of confidence, then these people are naysayers. Naysayers will say nay or no, as we say nowadays, to every single thing you say. They barely ever have meaningful contributions that actually make sense, but they'll still try to sabotage your resolutions by giving you their input anyway. Another example that we can all relate to would be our New Year's resolution to eat more healthily. While most of us try really hard to stick through this resolution, naysayers will try to get you to break that resolution by saying, "Just eat a slice of pizza. Come on, the odd slice now and again won't do anyone any harm." We all know that the odd slice now and again will definitely hurt your resolutions in the long run. The whole point here is that you need to follow your resolutions without needing others to accept them. After all, they're your resolutions for a reason. According to Stoic philosophy, one must not pay attention to what others think of them. What others think of you or your goals is not in your control, but what is in your control is your character. That is, how you'll reach your goals. Hence, it's best to focus on what you're doing and not what other people are saying. So surround yourself with other positive people and don't wait for others to give you a thumbs up. Number 7. Reward yourself. As Epictetus put so succinctly, I pat myself on the head. Reinforcing yourself and giving yourself rewards is at the centre of making a behaviour more regular. When you begin rewarding yourself for your actions, you're reinforcing yourself to continue doing what you're doing, helping you get closer to your resolution's goal. The best way to keep yourself motivated is by setting up milestones and corresponding rewards for those milestones. You could even make the rewards more and more rewarding with every major milestone you cross. Make sure you keep a list of the rewards handy so you can keep yourself motivated throughout the process of following up on your resolution. Let's take an example. If your resolution is to save up a bit of extra money, your milestone in this case could be a successful month of well-planned budgeting. Once you've achieved this milestone, give yourself a small but meaningful reward. It could be drinking your favourite wine or eating a box of your favourite chocolates. Your rewards might not be material or a tangible thing. It could be anything that you really care about. The idea is to give yourself more reasons to follow up on your resolutions by conferring attractive rewards on yourself. However, you must keep in mind that your rewards should not hinder your progress. For example, don't reward yourself for your weight loss by binge eating on junk food as a reward. Make sure to do your best and pack in some great rewards to get you to reach your goal. Number 8. Review your day. To quote Epictetus, "Never allow sleep to close your eyelids after you went to bed until you have examined all your actions of the day by your reason." One of the best ways to keep track of your progress is to scrutinize yourself and find your weak spots. Be brutally honest and use this time to connect with your subconscious. Practicing evening retrospections on a consistent basis will allow you to become more self-aware through every step of your day, because you'll actively be gathering information to formulate and articulate constructive answers to these questions. What did I do well today? Where was my discipline and self-control tested? Where did I do good? What did I do bad? Why did this occur? And furthermore, how can I improve? The key to getting your basic steps right is to keep assessing your actions regularly, making sure they lead you to your New Year's resolution. Keeping a tab on your progress not only helps you in staying more focused, but also allows you to identify probable problems that might be roadblocks on your path to successfully fulfilling your resolution. Number 9. Never, ever, ever give up. According to Epictetus, if you are once defeated and say you will get the victory another time, and then the same thing over again, and then the same thing over again, you can be sure that you will at last be reduced to so weak and wretched a condition. When we fall short of what we are expected to do, we give up. For example, if your resolution is to lose weight and you skip on exercising, you'll tell yourself you'll be regular from next Monday. And then the next Monday comes and you'll say, "I'll be regular from the 1st of next month." And then next month you'll end up saying that you'll start doing it next year. But then it never happens, and you give up. You need to understand that even if you fail once, for example, if you didn't exercise when you know you should have, this doesn't define your character. Your ability to keep going is what molds you into a disciplined and strong person. A bad day doesn't have to become a bad week. A bad week doesn't have to become a bad year. But if you give up on the things that matter most to you, you'll likely establish a pattern of giving up on anything when things don't go the way you hoped. You won't learn the importance of persistence, and anything worthwhile requires persistence. So never ever give up. The moment you wake up, remember that the new day is a new life, and move forward by opening your eyes and focusing on what's in front of you, which is your own life itself. Number 10. Always keep evolving. In our final piece of wisdom from Epictetus, we learn, first, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. The theory of evolution, which we believe is the fundamental theory of life, implies that everything in the universe is constantly evolving, and hence it's imperfect, which is why there's always room for improvement. With this in mind, life must be ever-changing and ever-dynamically a journey towards improvement. If you are consistent with your approach to your resolutions, there'll be a time when you'll have your goals achieved. At this point, take a break and say, "I did it!" Even if that just means going out to a nice dinner. But, as per the Stoic philosophy, you shouldn't get carried away with your success. You should always look for ways to evolve your ambitions. You don't have to wait for the next year to try some new resolution and gain new experiences so that you have new things to work towards. Life will always provide you with the opportunity to find a new purpose, and all it takes is going out there and doing everything that improves you as a person. We at Philosophies for Life wish you a very happy new year to you and all your family. If you liked this video, do make sure to check out our Stoicism playlist, and for more videos to help you find success and happiness using ancient philosophical wisdom, don't forget to subscribe to us.